Is that screen turned on? The one that was.
I don't know. I'm not talking till, I'm not saying welcome until I see the picture.
We're live. We're live.
We're live. We're live. We don't see ourselves. Okay. Okay. Welcome. Welcome to the City of New Ulm Library Board meeting. It's Thursday, November 18th, 2021. I'm Ruth Ann Webster. I'm the chair of this meeting. The first item on our agenda today is approval of the agenda. And without objection, if no one objects, I'd like to change the order of the agenda so that our first item of business is 5.3, the resolution approving appointment of a new library director. So, hearing no objection to that change, I will accept a motion to approve the agenda as I've announced.
I so move.
Second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So we'll move right to 5.3, the resolution with regard to the appointment of the library director. I will just say that I honor the process that is laid out in the resolution, and that is that the Human Resources Director and the City Manager recommend to us that we approve the Assistant Library Director, April Idy, for the position of the Library Director. And I honor that process, and so I am in support of this resolution. I would like to hear other people's comments or express their feelings about this proposal.
I concur with your remarks, Ruth Ann, with respect to the process, and I too concur with the judgment and conclusions of the city manager and the human resources director in their recommendation to appoint April Idy to the position of library director, and I think that's a terrific recommendation, and I support it.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to make any comments?
Well deserved. Very excited. Good job. Way to go.
I think it's very appropriate that she's being given that
Okay.
position.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yes, yes. Well, we can't congratulate her yet. I'll have to have someone offer the resolution approving that appointment.
So move.
Okay.
So second.
All right. Any further discussion? Otherwise, we can call the roll.
Okay, Sarah Berger,
Yes.
Margaret Blomberg,
Yes.
Gabby Bodensky, yes. Geraldine Schelberg,
Yes.
Dustin Sauter,
Yes.
Bernice Schmitz,
Yes.
Ting Ting Schwartz,
Yes.
Ruth Ann Webster,
Yes.
Carl Zeidler.
Yes.
Right. Watch this. Yay. Yay.
Thank you. I look forward to working with you guys all in this new role. I think it'll be really fun.
Good. Good. Fun. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Good. Now we've got the minutes of the last meeting. We all have those on our screens. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I so move.
I'll second.
Any discussion about that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sign. All right, passed. Financial report.
So we are 86% through 2021, and our budget is approximately 80.04% expended. On our contractual maintenance building line, we paid Precision Alarms because they completed our annual inspection of actually our panic buttons. It wasn't the door alarms, it was the
dear.
panic buttons. We have
Yes.
3 panic buttons in the library in case of an emergency. So they came in and made sure that those were operating correctly. And then we also paid Gopher State for their annual inspection of our fire alarms. And then GOG Sheet Metal completed a repair on the caulking around the skylight. So that was to help keep us dry. You'll note that the computer supplies and equipment line looks like it's overspent, but it really isn't. That includes the department header website upgrade, which was coming from the fund balance. That was a resolution you had previously approved. So that line is actually about 39% expended. And we are expecting to make a couple computer purchases before the end of the year, but I may bring that to you next month for carryover into 2022 because we are having a hard time with the supply chain getting computers right now.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then just to note that the 2022 fine and fee schedule was approved at the November 16th City Council meeting.
Any questions about the financial report? These things seem to be pretty steady as they go. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the library department activities report and the statistics.
I was able to attend the TDS Sierra user group meeting on October 20th. Sierra is the integrated library system that we use for checking items in and out, adding items to the catalog, doing reports on circulation, etc. Things we talked about included preparation for a possible migration to a new integrated library system, and some current updates to the one that we use now. We talked about circulation limits and the Wi-Fi hotspots. And TDS has asked member libraries to complete a number of database cleanup projects in preparation for that possible migration. So that has been things like going through and deleting old messages on accounts that are no longer needed, pulling out missing items from the catalog that we're not expecting to be returned, those kind of things.
Okay, questions, comments?
Yes, I'd like to add that most of the board members may know that I serve on, as a representative from our library on the TDS board, and we met today, and one of the items we discussed was the RFP for the new integration system that has gone out, and we will review bids at our next meeting in December. It should be noted that the reason they're doing this is try an attempt to get a better system and a better price, and if that comes from our current vendor, so be it, but if they decide to go with a new vendor for the ILS, it probably wouldn't really be undertaken and be in effect until the early part of either 2023 or real late in 2022. But my question would be for April perhaps is, if we migrate to a new system, how much training is going to be involved of staff time in order to become comfortable with that system? Does that affect our library or just the TDS staff?
It'll affect all library staff throughout the TDS region, so individual libraries as well as the TDS office. And it's quite an intensive process to switch to a new system. Once you learn one system, a lot of the stuff can become intuitive when you move to a new system, but there's a lot of ins and outs and where do you find things and how do you do this little detail that take a lot of training and figuring out, and it'll take years for staff to feel like they've really know the ins and outs of a new system like that.
Do you anticipate that we would need to make any adjustments to budget for training purposes, or would just reshuffle staff time to focus on that when they need to versus other activities in the library?
I imagine that there will be some TDS-led trainings leading up to it, and then some trainings at individual library levels based on their individual staffing structures. I think that we will probably need to come to the board and ask for some time, perhaps a morning to be closed to do training on a few occasions to allow us time to do that as a group. But then a lot of it will be as we go to learning the system.
Okay, thank you.
I do have other items on the librarian's report if there are no more questions about the ILS.
All right, keep going. All right, keep going.
We were able to visit Oak Hills for our first visit on November 10th as part of our senior outreach. We hadn't been able to go there yet just because of lockdown and cases. That went really well, and we I had about 13 patrons come, which is our biggest showing yet, and they were really excited to have us there and made requests of things we could bring next time. So that was really fun to go. But outreach is going well, and we're getting to know the patrons who are coming to our site visits. So that's really been fun. MRCI asked our youth services librarian if she'd be willing to do a story time for their adult clients. And so they'll be coming to the library on the third Tuesday of every month for their own special story time. So we had 10 people visit the library in October with MRCIs. And then Leroy Harris, our Programming and Technology Services librarian, has been presenting a 5-part seminar series on the United States Constitution. And we've received a lot of feedback about how much people are enjoying that. And he was recognized in the Journal by a patron for his presentation. So I just want to commend him on the excellent job he's doing with those presentations. The last one is tonight at 6:30 if anyone would like to join us. He is working on making recordings of the programs available, and so we hope to have those in the next few weeks. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, the number of people attending that Leroy's program on the Constitution really stuck out, I thought. I don't know what anybody else noticed. Any other comments about that?
Yes, I thought it was very well attended, and I think the audience is very attentive and interested in his presentations, which are quite good.
Yeah, he hadn't had the first one recorded, and he actually had an audience member say, "Oh, I took an audio recording," because they were so interested. So we're going to be able to use that so that we at least have that available for the first presentation.
Okay, good. Any other questions or comments? Now let's move on.
And then in our statistics, we see our overdrive circulation continuing to increase. And TDS received federal grant funding to spend another $50,000 on materials. And that was through the Institute of Museum and Library Services. So they were really excited to start spending that. And they're focusing a large portion of their spending on children's and young adult materials for the collection.
Okay.
And then we have a small but dedicated group of patrons continuing to use our contactless pickup. We had 14 pickups completed in October. That really doesn't take a lot of staff time to manage and offer that service to patrons, so I think we'll continue offering it indefinitely.
Okay.
That's
All
I
right, ready
have.
to move on?
Yep. All right, so for November programming, we have the adult and children's calendars included in the packet. Some of the events coming up through the end of November are a special story time on Friday, November 19th at 10 a.m. That's for toddler and preschool aged children. And we'll do a special craft related to the story time theme, and that's just a drop-in program, so you don't need to register for that. And then Pizza and Pages Teen Book Club will meet on November 19th at 4 p.m. That's for teens in 6th to 9th grade, and they can discuss the books they're reading. There's no assigned book for the club. And then they can just come and talk and enjoy pizza, but registration is required for that program, so we know how much pizza to get. And then Leroy is leading a writing workshop, planning for after National Novel Writing Month, and that workshop will be on November 22nd at 2 p.m., and author Chris Schmitz will also be there to talk about the next steps after you finish your National Novel Writing Month goal, including getting your book ready to be published.
Okay. Okay, questions or comments about programming in November? All right, we'll move on to the building.
All right. So we have our carpet replacement for the fiction floor scheduled for December 1st through 3rd. That's a Wednesday through Friday. Hiller says they plan to work roughly between the hours of 8 and 2:30, so that will be when we have staff in the building. That's not an issue for us. And the maintenance technician suggested that we open the emergency exit in the adult fiction area to allow them easy access to the side of the building, and I think that will work well and will be less disruptive to the traffic for our patrons.
Questions on the building?
And then I have two more. I'll do
Oh,
that
sorry.
one.
Yeah.
We have a steam pipe above the ground around the edge of our parking lot right now. The church was just without steam and heat, so they had to find a solution for the winter. They weren't able to dig. It's just too late in the year for that. So we've got some concrete barriers up around it'd be the southwest edge of the parking lot there. And those will be in place through the winter. You can park in front of the barriers, but the back end of your vehicle will probably stick out a little bit more. But it's workable. So we'll have that for the winter. And then the HVAC unit for the children's room has been fussy. It won't kick on some days. So we had GOG come and they put in a new transformer, which was about $80 plus labor. So that bill will probably be on next month's meeting. That's it for the building.
Well, it's two old buildings and old streets and old steam pipes. That's the way it goes. Okay. Any questions about the buildings? Comments? Brown County Library Board update? Anything beyond what Carol's already talked about?
They met last Monday and we received our second 2021 funds disbursement.
Okay.
So that total was $41,750, which is split equally between the 5 Brown County libraries. And so that's $8,380 each. So we received our check for that. County Commissioner Jeff Veerkamp said that the 2022 budget is not finalized for the county yet, but he's expecting the library support to either be flat or with a small increase. And then some of the libraries shared updates. The Dykeman Free Library is working on renovations to their building. Part of their building is over 100 years old, so they're looking at restoring some of the original woodwork. And we're really excited to do that. And then the Springfield Library received Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund funding to take a bus of patrons to see a play that their book club had read up in the city. So they were really excited about that. And then the next meeting will be June 13th at 7 p.m. and it'll be at the New Ulm Library. Carl, did you have anything else to add to
No, I
that
think you
report?
covered it.
All right. Good. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Library Director.
You're welcome.
Okay, now we have a resolution, 2021-28, the second reading and adoption, approving the updates to the hotspot policy. And I noticed that this is the second reading, so I wasn't planning to read it. I would take a motion to waive the reading. But there was this an addition that you can only use the hotspots in the commercial United States? Was that something added? All right, well, we'll just make a note that you can't take your hotspot to Mexico or Canada or northern.
Close up to Canada.
All right.
Take it, but you're responsible for any.
Oh, that's right, you
international
can take it, but you're responsible. Got it.
And we did have Verizon turn off the roaming, so it probably wouldn't work if you
Oh,
that close anyway now.
okay. Well, then I will take a motion offering that resolution with regard to the hotspot policy and waiving the reading.
So move.
All right.
I'll second.
All right. Any other discussion? Otherwise, we'll call the roll.
Sarah Berger,
Yes.
Margaret Blomberg,
Yes.
Gabby Budensky, yes. Geraldine Chelberg,
Yes.
Justin Sauter,
Yes.
Bernice Schmitz,
Yes.
Ting Ting Schwartz,
Yes.
Ruth Ann Webster,
Yes.
Carl Zeidler.
Yes.
Okay. Passes. All right, now our final resolution, which is 21-2029, the first reading and adoption of the accepting the donations and the memorials. And this is another thing that really, stood out for me as I looked over our packet. I don't know how other people feel, but people are so generous. And I think it says quite a bit about the way the library is run. I just make a few notes that there were, I'm not going to read all of these, but there so many donations in memory of Susan Niren, who died so suddenly and was formerly the assistant city attorney. Diane Zellman, who served as the children's librarian, and John Lindquist, whose wife was also a library employee, and those were the things that I noted. Again, with, I just feel honored to look at something like this, to be honored to be part of the library when people are so generous. Anyone else have anything that they want to lift up with regard to the donations?
I have a question. Does this information appear on the website? April, do you know?
It would appear on the city's website as part of the library board packet.
Okay.
But it just doesn't appear on the library section of the website.
Okay, thank you.
I will accept a motion offering that resolution accepting the donations and memorials.
I so move.
A second?
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion? Gabby, can you call the roll?
Sarah Berger? Yes. Margaret Blomberg?
Yes.
Gabby Badensky, yes. Geraldine Schelberg?
Yes.
Justin Sauter?
Yes.
Bernice Schmitz?
Yes.
Ting Ting Schwartz?
Yes.
Ruth Ann Webster?
Yes.
Carl Zeidler?
Yes.
Well, then, on that high note, there's no other business. Any other business to come before this board? Your record is safe. All right. Meeting adjourned. See you next month.